What's up? Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Let's go ahead and cut right to the chase. Salute to all of my subs and salute to the whole Lions Den, basketball and boxing community. Um, Ant-Man, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? I know. Y'all gonna trip out. Yes, Anthony Edwards got to get the smoke. He got to get the smoke right now. I told you nobody's exempt from any smoke around here. We carve everything straight down the middle on this. And now Anthony Edwards has came out and said that he felt a little bad when he eliminated his GOAT in KD. As you know, KD is his favorite player of all time. He said he felt a little bad. He said he felt a little sympathy because he eliminated KD. You are not supposed to feel that way at all. You're not supposed to feel any type of sympathy at all. That's what you don't want to feel. And that's what separates this. See, that's why a lot of people have trouble putting you in the same sentence as a Jordan, putting you in the same sentence as a Kobe. Because both of those guys were assassins. Both of those guys wanted to snatch your heart out of your chest. Both of those guys wanted to step on you no matter how bad you felt, and they would let you know about it. Because that is the essence of competition. I don't care how you feel about that guy, if he's your GOAT or not. Do you think that Jordan cared about whether or not a guy like Dr. J was in his way? Do you think that he cared about, not to say that Larry Bird or any of these guys were his idols or anything like that, but do you think that he cared about if any of those guys were in his way? What's up with it, The Real? I'll see you in the building. He didn't care about none of that. What's up with it, Cottage? Make sure y'all go sub to Cottage, man. Definitely dropping good. Then do it again, and if he stands in your way again, sweep him again. And again and again and again to let him know that you king. It's Game of Thrones around here. You ain't supposed to feel no sympathy. You weren't even, and if you did, you weren't supposed to let nobody know about it. Why are you gonna let him know something about it? Why are you gonna let him know so that they can really a killer? He killer's mentality. They want you to have. They want to use any type of slightest of sympathy or empathy so that they can use that against you on the court. You're starting off wrong. Now, see, I'm still an Ant-Man fan, okay? But I don't want him. Jordan never talked like that. Kobe never talked like that. Isaiah never talked like that. None of these guys never talked like that. You think the bad boy Pistons felt bad about getting rid of the Chicago Bulls? No, they loved it. And they loved it to this day. Okay, I'll repeat it again. All right? As I was saying, Ant-Man said he felt a little bad. He felt a little bad because he was asked a question about last year's playoff, No, he swept the Phoenix Suns. He swept the combination of Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and KD, and ice put the icing on the cake with an explanation point when he dunked on KD to say goodbye. He said he felt a little bad about that because KD was his GOAT. And I said, you're not supposed to feel that way. What's up with it? Old Head Podcast, aka T Price. In the building, make sure y'all go sub to T Price, my brother. You're not supposed to feel bad. You think Kobe was up? Oh man, I feel bad about putting up 30 or 40 against Jordan. No. No. You think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar felt bad about dunking on Wilt? And if you don't believe he dunked on Wilt, go pull it up. Came in, just dunked on Wilt. I'm talking about when he was Lou Alcindor. You think he felt bad about that? No. He didn't feel bad about that. Ant-Man was like, oh man, I feel a little bad. Oh man, what? He's my GOAT. No. You're supposed to do it again. You're supposed to do it again. And if he come up, man, that's like a nigga, man, that you fight. At one time, he was beating your ass. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, he can't fuck with you no more. You beat his ass again and again and again and again. That's what you're supposed to do in competition until you got him saying like Roberto Duran, no mas. You don't sit up there and let people know, oh yeah, well, I felt a little bad. Nah, you keep that in the back of your mind. Now they're going to be like, yeah, you are who we thought you were. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, Ant-Man is still my guy. But you starting off the season wrong. You just made it to the Western Conference Finals. Your mentality should be like, man, fuck Kevin Durant. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if I'm competing against somebody, I don't like you on the floor. I'm like, fuck you. On the hardwood, I don't want to feel no sympathy, none of that shit. Okay, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want nothing to happen to you, nothing like that. But as far as kicking your ass, hell yeah, I want you out of there. I want you to think about it. I want it to hurt you. I want you to go to sleep saying, man, I can't stand straight to the point. I can't stand him. I want you to feel that shit, and I want it to hurt you for the entire off season, because I don't want to experience that hurt. That's what you should want. You should want him to feel that pain. But no, you want to feel sympathy. You want to sit up there and say, I feel bad. I don't care if he your GOAT or not. You in the NBA, you in even level playing field now. You in the league now. You are in the league. And that's what's wrong with today's NBA, some of today's NBA players. See, at first I thought Ant-Man was going to come in with something different. Now you done shot ball with him at the USA squad and stuff. You buddied up. I said that there was going to be something peculiar about that situation when he was working out with him and stuff. I said, okay, maybe it ain't no big deal. But then here come with this statement, talk about, oh, he felt a little bad. You wasn't saying that shit when you swept him. Oh, now you don't play. You got time. You spent time with him and everything over there with the USA squad. No, when you get back to the US, it'd be like, look, hey, we had our time over there. Now it's still time for me to bust your ass. That's what it should be like. What's up with it? Pull up. I see you in the building. Shout out to BJ. Make sure y'all go sub to Pull Up Podcast. You think Kobe and BJ's a Kobe fan? You think Kobe was up in there? Oh man, I feel bad about beating. I feel bad about beating the Sacramento Kings. I feel bad about beating the Boston Celtics. No, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna beat your ass again. I feel bad about like that little boy he beat in 1-on-1. Oh, I feel bad because he's he a little boy. No, I got a little son. I'm gonna beat his ass all the time until he eventually come back and do the same thing to me. You don't feel no goddamn sympathy. That's what's wrong with everybody. Oh man, I feel bad. Oh, and all this other stuff. That's just like with Jason Tatum. Now you see Jason Tatum taking it on the chin. Watch. Jason Tatum gonna come back and he gonna bust that motherfucker's ass. Watch. And I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna laugh. Cause all that stuff that they were talking about him, all that stuff that Steve Kerr did, no, that's all right. Use that as motivation. That's what Ant-Man should be doing. He should be using that shit as motivation. I made it to the Western Conference Finals. We didn't do that good or whatever. I'm not thinking about no sympathy. As a matter of fact, you should be even more of a savage. You said, hey, brother, I think Ant-Man made a mistake saying he felt bad. I totally disagree. Yeah, I disagree with you. You said, no, Kobe was going to kill your ass at all costs. Black Mamba. Yeah, exactly. But everybody talk about they got this Mamba mentality and all this other stuff. Nah, y'all ain't got no Mamba mentality. You know what I'm saying? I thought, man, I thought he was gonna be the one to prove everybody wrong. But I am gonna give him the smoke, just like I gave him the smoke talking about he didn't know if he wanted to play basketball. You know, football was his first love or whatever. If that was the case, you should have stayed your ass playing football. Nah, you got to go back out there when you took that L or whatever. You know, if you happen to face Phoenix again, do the same thing again. If we beat your ass last year, what you think we gonna feel some sympathy again? No, we gonna come back and we gonna beat your ass again, and we not gonna feel any sympathy about it. That's what you're supposed to do. And I want you to bring me your best. I want you to bring your A game. I want you to bring your A game. Don't bring your B, C, D, E, F, G game. I don't want none of that stuff. I want your A game. I want you to come in. You've been shooting 3,000 jumpers. I want you to been running 7 miles a day. I want you to been in that goddamn weight room. I want you to been playing pick up at Rico Hines. I want you to been swimming, like 2-3 miles. I want you to been running hills. I want you to been doing every type of yoga, goddamn Pilates, doing everything you could to get ready, investing all this goddamn money like LeBron did, billions of dollars into your body so that you could come back. So I don't want to hear no motherfucking excuses. You said, and I wish Aaron would stay silent about. Yeah, if you feel bad about it, what's up, Matt? If you feel bad about that shit, man, don't let me know about this shit, because now you got a little bit of weakness that I see in you. You got a little bit of weakness. Yeah, exactly. What's up with it, Willie? I see you in the building. No, they don't understand the Mamba mentality. Man, listen, man. It's more mental than anything. You think Kobe was like, oh, man, I'm getting a little older. I'm going to just go ahead and let these guys win. Because I think Kobe was asked a question when he was going to pass the torch. He said, when I retire. You know, his mentality was still the same. He didn't want you to, just because he's getting a little older or he on his way out or anything like that. No, he fought to the very end. He fought to the very end, man. But you want to come with this, oh, yeah, I feel some sort of sympathy. Come on, Ant-Man. You were the one that everybody was actually, some people were disagreeing, talking about comparing you to Jordan, comparing you to Kobe, and stuff like that. Man, all that stuff went out of the window now. All of that stuff went out of the window. Unless you just come back ferocious and just starting annihilating the competition, don't even say shit. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Um, way back when, and I hate to be like, back in the days when I was young, I ain't a kid anymore, all that shit. But listen, nah, Kobe didn't give a fuck. He didn't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? He take that shit on the chin. Like you said, yes, and Anthony Edwards still a young player in the NBA. He's still a young player. He's still a young player, but that's no excuse. I mean, you old, you young, but you old enough to know better. You've had you've had experiences that some players haven't had. Look, I got to keep using this shit. I got to keep using this example. You've had experiences that Joel Embiid hasn't had in your young career. You've made it past the second round. Nigga, you should be looking at championships. Cause you were just like one step closer to a championship. Possible, I would say two steps, because you had to capitalize in the Western Conference Finals in order to get to the final. Then you had to, what's up?
We talked about some banana bread support the ministry today.
Nah, I'm coming in no cash, man. Appreciate it, bro. You had to capitalize on the next situation. Oh yeah, for sure. Clearly, yeah, he does. Now look, I'm not saying that. Listen, you could have your favorite player. You could sit there and say, hey, I like Kevin Durant, da 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 da, mutual respect thing and all that other stuff. But man, as far as you feeling sympathy for take pretty much uh, knocking your opponent off that you probably had a lot of admiration for, as far as you feeling sympathy for that, no, get up out of here with that. You said Ant-Man does no better than to say something like that. Yeah, he does. And you just coming off, listen, this is the thing that disappoints me the most, right? What disappoints me the most, what disappoints me the most is the fact that you you were playing with champions on that team. You were playing with a Steph Curry. You were playing with a LeBron. You were playing with of course, Kevin Durant. You were playing with Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday. You know what I'm saying? Derek White. All those guys were champions. Of course, you were coached by Steve Kerr. Even though I don't agree with Steve Kerr in the way that he coaches and everything, nevertheless, he's still a champion regardless. You were playing around champions. Them guys got championships. You don't. So if I'm around there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn, but at the same time, I'm gonna get even better. I know that when I get back, I gotta annihilate this competition. You shouldn't even have that type of mentality talking about, oh yeah, well, I feel bad or I feel some sort of sympathy. Nah, skip all that. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear none of that. Yeah, matter of fact, you should be like, look, all that smart shit that you were saying about all your teammates, all that stuff, and I'm surprised Ant said something like that. Knowing Ant, I thought he was more cutthroat than that. I mean, he's a beast. Salute to Cypress. Make sure y'all go sub to the homie, Cypress TV. It goes down over there. It goes down. It goes down in the DM. Like I know you saying that he's a beast. We know that he's a beast talent-wise, but I'm talking about his mentality. I'm talking about his mentality. I'm talking about his mentality. We talking about his mentality. What we talking about is we're not talking about his talent. We're talking about his mentality. You said, well, he is young. Kobe was young. Do you think that he was sitting up there? No, he wanted to annihilate Jordan. He wasn't like in awe of Jordan or nothing like that. Jordan wasn't in awe of Magic and in awe of, and no, he wanted to annihilate them dudes. You starting off wrong. Now I'm reluctant to say that he's going to get a championship now. When it I mean, with that type of mentality, you got to come in and you got to come in focused, regardless if that guy you see is LeBron, or you see him, or you see Durant, or you see some of these older guys. I'm be like, look, nah, I got to beat you now. You said, I think Ant has it. He just had a weak moment to KD. SGA, I think, is more cutthroat though. SGA don't give a fuck, and that's what I like about SGA. SGA SGA will tell you in a heartbeat, man, he don't care about no LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He don't care about no LeBron. He don't care about none of them. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Green. That's why I like Jalen Green and the Houston Rockets and all them. You know what I'm saying? I like them guys. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they don't respect, the Lakers when they come into town and everything like that. You say, hey, Ant-Man had to win a title in order for him to be up there. Well, you got to win a couple titles. One title. One title ain't going to do it. I don't know how I found this channel. I was scrolling through YouTube and you already cooking. You're not sugarcoating. Man, I'm already big. Hey, I appreciate it, Motto. Hey, that's how we do it. We keep it 100%. We keep it 100. And Shea Gilchrist is a monster. Shea Gilchrist is a monster. They got robbed by Dallas. They should have been if you really want to be honest, they got robbed. The NBA going to talk about, oh yeah, we made a mistake. No, y'all just didn't want them in there because y'all didn't have no faith in OKC. They proved y'all wrong. Them young boys over there, they proved y'all wrong. You had McDaniel, you had Shea. You know what I'm saying? Shea Gilchrist Alexander, new coach coming in. You know what I'm saying? Developing them young boys. You know? But yeah, Shea Gilchrist, man, SGA is a guy, and one could argue he should have won the MVP if you really want to be honest. I had voted SGA. I don't think Jokic should have got the MVP. I felt like SGA should have got it this year because of the job that he did, and on top of that, SGA um, he played every single game. To my knowledge, just correct me if I'm wrong, SGA did not miss any games. Hey, appreciate it, Willie Williams, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all love and support. You said, yeah, OKC played Dallas to the brink. SGA was the best player in that series. They had more size for Dallas. Yeah, they did. Derek Lively and them boys, they did a really good job and stuff. But, it was the experience factor too. But OKC is going to kick ass and take names next year. These are the teams that you got to look for in the Western Conference to really get their get back. Of course, you're going to talk about Minnesota. Even though the Achilles heel for them is going to be Cat and it's going to be Rudy Gobert. Hopefully, Rudy Gobert will cut out all that defenseless player of the year bullshit and actually be a defensive player of the year that he's supposed to be. But I don't see that happening. I see that. Hey, I know y'all gonna laugh at me. Wembanyama. I know I ain't saying San Antonio is going to be a powerhouse or nothing like that, but I think Wembanyama really feels bad. Wembanyama probably going to be in the gym. I can see H-Town. I'm not going to go to sleep on them either. OKC, they not going to go. You can't go to sleep on them either. New Orleans, you can't go to sleep on them neither. I don't know about the Lakers, man. I don't know about the Lakers. Yeah, Gobert. So he. I ain't gonna say like it's like he weak or no shit like that. He's just not um he's not capable. He's not the defensive player that people say that he is. Hold on one sec, y'all. Sorry, y'all, getting groceries and everything. You said yes, Paul. I mean, look, Rudy Gobert, he doesn't know. I'm gonna tell you something about Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert needs to work with um he needs to work with like a Kevin Garnett. He needs to work with like a Hakeem Olajuwon. Hell, he needs to work with even like a David Robinson. He need to work with guys that man. Hell, Dennis Rodman. He needs to work with some of those guys that can actually. He needs to pick the brain of those type of guys, like a Dikembe Mutombo, guys that really were hawks on defense. It's like the reason why I mention those guys is because BJ, I'll tell you this, man. Wembanyama already at this stage of the game, he understands how to defend the pick and roll better than Rudy Gobert. All right, thank you. He already understands how to defend the pick and roll, and that's what the NBA is about. The NBA is a pick and roll league. It's a pick and pop league.
I forgot one more, sir.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks. Man, hey, listen, man. Everybody that's doubting Wembanyama, they talking about, oh yeah, he's 7'4", and he's supposed to do this, he's supposed to do that. Well, how come Sean Bradley wasn't able to do it? Sorry about Sean Bradley and everything. No disrespect to him, but how come he wasn't able to? How come he wasn't able to do what he did? You know what I'm saying? How come a lot of these guys that were 7'6", 7'5", and all this other stuff, there's a lot of guys that don't even move like that. Yao had a chance, but you know what happened to Yao? His injuries. You know, Yao was 7'4", 7'5". Look at Porzingis. You see, he struggled to stay on the court with Boston. You know, and then when he did play, I mean, he made some impact, but he wasn't consistent. Wembanyama is going to be one of them guys that is going to be 7'4". You see what happened to Bo. Like, I like Bo too, but you know, he kind of fell off a little bit. Yeah, he played 8 seasons, you know what I'm saying? And Yao was starting to really come along and stuff, but the thing that was happening with Yao, you know, was injuries and stuff. But you know, his first couple of seasons, you know what I'm saying, it was a little rocky and everything, but then once he got accustomed and he got accustomed to the American game, started working with some bigs and stuff, because he was a hard worker. That's what I respected about Yao Ming. Yao was dedicated. Yeah, and then Yao started to come with the mid range. He was coming with the footwork. Yao was facing up. Putting that ball on the floor. Yao had a little bit of a step back. You know what I'm saying? Like Yao would use the rim as a shield, man. Get up under that motherfucker and finish. Yeah. But I do want to talk about this, man. Switching gears, man. I want to talk about Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard and Boogie Cousins. Shout out to Dwight Howard and shout out to Boogie Cousins for putting him on blast. Now, I don't agree with listen, man. All this stuff about, you know, Dwight Howard and all that other stuff, man, I don't agree with the man lifestyle and none of that other stuff. But I'm giving Dwight Howard his credit I'm giving him his credit, man, and him and Boogie credit because they exposed Rob Pelinka. We already knew how Rob Pelinka was, but pretty much what he was saying, man, on his podcast, because Dwight Howard got a new podcast and stuff. It's pretty dope podcast. He had a couple people on there so far, and Boogie Cousins and him were talking about how Rob Pelinka is a shady dude, and how he wanted. Okay, First off, Boogie was saying that Ant-Man, he didn't want to play the 5. He wanted to play his natural position, which was the 4. But they overrode that, and they still put him at the 5 or whatever. And Ant-Man was disgusted, at the fact of that or whatever. And it was just like, it's like they just go behind people's back and stuff like that and do whatever is necessary. They're not for the players, pretty much. And then Dwight Howard got a podcast, and then Dwight Howard was talking about how Rob Pelinka wants to sit up there and pretty much try to dictate everything and not really listen or really value the players or whatever. And then, as you know, now this is the one thing that I gotta disagree with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard had came up for a contract. You know what I'm saying? I think he came up for a contract. It was an extension to my knowledge, and he was like, he wanted more money. You know what I'm saying? But we also got to remember Dwight Howard was 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the league. I got to give LeBron James, you got to give him credit because he did. He signed off on Dwight Howard being there and whatnot. But at the same token, do I feel that Dwight Howard should have got paid? Yeah. For helping win that championship? Yeah. Dwight Howard did a good job, man. He did a good job. But what I would have did is just stayed and competed for more championships. That's what I would have did if I was Dwight Howard, not bitch and whine and cry about it or whatever, and then go ahead and leave or whatever. But he wanted more money, which I can understand, why he wanted more money or whatever. But I mean, why not just go ahead and stay? Look, man, no other team was gonna give you, any other opportunity like the Lakers did. You were bouncing. You were becoming a journeyman. I mean, damn, you went to Atlanta. You was in Charlotte. You was in the Lakers at one point in time. Of course, we know about the Magic. You was in H-Town. You was in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Philly. I mean, you was everywhere. I might be forgetting some teams, shit. But those were the teams that, you were becoming a journeyman. You was everywhere. I mean, we can't forget about Washington. We all know what happened there. Speaking of Dwight Howard, didn't he make it to the final with the back in? Oh no, yeah, he did. But unfortunately, they took an L to Kobe Bean Bryant. Yeah, they took L to Kobe Bean Bryant, man. But he did make the finals and everything. But the thing about it is, man, is like I can understand but we know about how Rob Pelinka is. He's a backstabber. Look what he did to Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was trying to implement his ideas and stuff like that, man, and he was up in there going behind Magic's back, had all this stuff to say about him, to Jeannie Buss or whatever, and you turning people against the guy who brought you 5 chips there to LA, to the Lakers. Rob Pelinka, I've been knowing about Rob Pelinka. Matter of fact, he's what's wrong with the Lakers organization. He's part of what's wrong with the Lakers organization right now. It's a combination of Rob Pelinka, it's a combination of Jeannie Buss, and it's a combination of LeBron James. You know, I mean, it's a combination of all of them. Once all of them go, I guarantee you. I'm not saying it's gonna, right overnight. It's gonna be, success and all that other stuff. But it sure will help be a lot better in due time. Should not have interfered with Magic and his business. No, not at all. Magic Johnson knows what he's doing. Magic Johnson is a businessman. Magic Johnson is cerebral. You know what I'm saying? People can have all these criticisms about Magic Johnson all they want to about what happened back in the days and all that other stuff. Because believe it or not, people still judge him for the whole HIV stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to go ahead and get over that now. He's still above the surface. He's still with his wife, Cookie. You know what I'm saying? She ain't tripping about it, so why are you tripping about it? You know what I'm saying? The man got a lot of businesses. You know what I'm saying? He's in the front office of the Washington Commanders right now. You know what I'm saying? About to turn things around over there and stuff. He was with the Dodgers. He made them, well, they always kind of relevant or whatever, but they had made it back to where they were supposed to be at. He tried to, he was trying to implement his thoughts and ideas with the Lakers. So like I said, man, Rob Pelinka, man, is a snake, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like lately I've been talking about a lot of snakes. I've been talking about what's it called? I said Dwight. I was talking about Oscar De La Hoya. I was talking about Rob Pelinka, man. These guys right here are not guys that you want in your front offices. I'm just being real with you. I know he was Kobe's agent and all this other stuff or whatever, but them days are long gone now. But as a guy who got total control of everything, he's doing a shitty job. Yeah, he knows his sports. I don't care what sport it is. I don't care what sport it is. Magic can listen. If you got a good business mind, and you're able to if you got a good business mind and you're able to you're able to think you're able to be a problem solver. You can pretty much turn anything around. I don't care what it is. You might not be like Magic Johnson. He wasn't a football player, but the fact that he brought championships to the city of LA, coupled with, you know what I'm saying, a good ingredients like a Pat Riley, like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But he knows how to win. So that 9 times out of 10, that's going to translate into the business aspect of everything. That's why he's been successful business-wise. You know what I'm saying? You haven't heard about Magic Johnson being unsuccessful in terms of his business and everything. Look what the man is doing. So why not have somebody like that in your front office? Hell, they did it for the country. They took Trump. They were like, oh, well, he might not be good, you know what I'm saying, in terms of political wise, but, he's good You know what I'm saying? In terms of business. So maybe there are some things that he could do good in terms of the business, even though he might not be good political wise. I'm just talking about how some people think. That's not what I said. But you'll be surprised of what some people have said and how some people think. Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson shouldn't have never left that organization, man, at all. There was no reason for that. But like I said, it was Rob Pelinka. It was his fault, his selfishness. Jeannie Buss has failed miserably to uphold the name of the Lakers ever since her father has passed away. You said, hey, and Magic Johnson had Pat Riley and Dunleavy Sr. as his coaches at one point in his career. Yeah, he did. But the thing about it, man, is okay. Like everybody that's coming out saying this stuff about Rob Pelinka, I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised by it, man. Look, bro. Like I hate to go down this road again in terms of nepotism, in terms of the whole Bronny James thing and all that other stuff, right? But it does need to be talked about. Listen, if this had been another place like in Detroit, like in Atlanta or something like that, it would have been fine for Bronny James to go ahead and do his thing, and play a year with his dad and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you're doing it with the Lakers, who some people see, believe it or not, as a contender, because let's just call it what it is. They weren't a contender this year, but I would say the year before last they were a contender. They were in the Western Conference Finals, so that is a contender. Okay, that whether you like it or not, they were a contender. So why are you going to sit up there and just make it okay? Yeah, it's about LeBron and everything when you're trying to get the championship. And now you got to wonder, okay, well, what is your goal here? What is your end game? I'd have brought him into the office and been like, hey, what's your end game here? Either you want to play with your goddamn son, or either you want to come over here and win championship. It's like they didn't have no type of mentality. They coming up in here, they letting this guy run the organization, which you shouldn't be letting him run nothing. You should. He said, "Hey, I got a question. Do you think Rob Pelinka is a good GM or a bad GM for the Lakers?" In your opinion? He's bad. I've already said that numerous of times. He's bad. He's horrible. What happened this year? You got bounced out of the first round, okay? But you could have actually won them games. You actually could have won the series had you put your mind to it, but you ended up losing. And then on top of that, you fired a coach who really had nothing to do with anything with them losing. It wasn't Coach Darvin Ham's fault. You fired a coach that first year made it to the Western Conference Final, but you fired a coach because you let a guy come in there and run your organization. You know what I'm saying? What's up with it, Angelo Bell? I see you in the building, bro. Hope you're doing good, man. And then, on top of that, the year before, 2 years ago, y'all didn't. I think y'all missed the playoffs. Y'all missed the playoffs, and then the year before that, it was like, okay, this happened. You had because the year after y'all fired Frank Vogel a year after he won a championship. Okay, you brought in Russell Westbrook. You treat that guy like he ain't a Hall of Famer, like he ain't got no credentials. Like he's not gonna be a Hall of Famer pretty soon or whatever. Only to use him just so that LeBron get his record and then bounce him up out of there. Like making this guy like feel that he was just so much of a bother to everybody or whatever. Didn't stick up for him. You know, like it's a lot of stuff. You all these ideas that you try to bring. Well, what we're gonna do this year is we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and it just has not worked. You want to put AD at the 5 and all this other stuff, you know, and um, it just has not worked, man. Then you just let a guy come in there and pretty much flip the whole organization upside down, like running things as if he's in his young 20s and stuff like that now. Like when he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers. No, you were the Lakers. Rob Pelinka made a mistake by firing. He made a mistake by firing Frank Vogel. I don't know what it is about Frank Vogel, man. These guys have a problem with Frank Vogel. Kevin Durant had a problem with Frank Vogel. LeBron James had a problem. LeBron James and AD had a problem with Frank Vogel and D'Lo. But Frank Vogel got a championship. We know it's a bubble ring. We know it's a Chippendale ring, Disney ring, whatever you want to call it. You know, Mickey Mouse ring, whatever you want to call it. It's still a championship in a lot of people's eyes, though. You know, so um, yeah, he Frank Vogel, man, is a solid coach. Matter of fact, I never had a problem with him in Philly. I think Frank Vogel is a good coach. I think Frank Vogel got a bad rap for what he did, man. You fired a guy right after. I don't even like the fact. I don't like what they did to Adrian Griffin. I don't like what they did to Adrian Griffin in Milwaukee. I thought that was foul. It's like the trend now. The trend now is um, the trend now is to pretty much if you have a bad season, if a coach has a bad season, is to get rid of that guy. Get rid of him ASAP. Find any way. If one player has a problem with that coach, or especially like the main player, get rid of him. That's what the trend now. I know it's a players' league and all that other stuff, but what happened to the days of y'all going into the office and trying to work things out? Instead, you want to give up on that coach. You want to give up on a championship pedigree type of coach. Darvin Ham was a champion coming in. They didn't give up on Jason Kidd in Dallas, and he had a horrible season last season. They didn't even make the playoffs last season. But guess what? They They turned around, they spent the block, they came back, they ran it back with Kyrie, and guess what? They're back in the finals. And that's the difference between Mark Cuban. Now, I'm gonna say this. Luca Luca was wrong. Luca was wrong for marching up in the front office and getting rid of Don Nelson Jr. and getting making what's his name step down. Uh, I was about to call him Jim Carrey, making Jim Carrey step down. And then Jason Kidd had taken over. Jason Kidd took over, and guess what? They they pretty much, they had their difficulties, but Jason Kidd had showed, okay, what we're going to do is going to work. They made it to a Western Conference Finals. Then, okay, of course, they brought in Kyrie. They did make the playoffs, and then with Kyrie, they made it to the finals. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is my point. Stay with me. This is my point. What they could have did is they could have just got rid of. They could have gotten rid of Jason Kidd because he didn't make the playoff. But they knew, okay, Kyrie's coming into a new system. He's coming in with another ball dominant player in Luka. We gotta get these guys on the same page. We gotta get these guys. They gotta have the same continuity. Well, we gotta have some continuity between guys. They gotta develop some chemistry. Gotta have some weapons around them in order for it to make. Yeah, Jim Carrey. That's what he looked like. Like, don't he look like Jim Carrey? Rick Carlisle? That's who he looked like. He looked just like Jim Carrey, man. I call it that, Jim Carrey. He looked just like Jim. That motherfucker looked like Fire Marshal Bill, man. Don't he, Cypress? That motherfucker look like Cypress. That motherfucker look like Fire Marshal Bill, bro. Look just like Jim Carrey, man. That just like Stephen A. Smith look like Ludacris. Him and Ludacris look just alike. They look just alike, man. For real. I ain't gonna go to shit you said. You over there talking about what's his name look like Roseanne Barr and shit. Now that shit was crazy. Nigga Cypress saying bag looking like Roseanne Barr. I remember that shit. That motherfucker had niggas throwing up. Hey, look just like Jim Carrey. I mean, don't get me wrong. He a good coach. But Rick Carlisle, man, like because he went ahead and stepped down because he saw the writing on the wall. Rick Carlisle, he saw the writing on the wall. He was like, okay, and of course he had a good relationship with Don Nelson, of course Don Nelson Sr. and then Don Nelson Jr. The son. I mean, he was cool with everybody up in the front office. I mean, Dirk, because you know Dirk is an advisor there. Then you got what's his name? You got Michael Finley. He's in charge of the scouting, international scouting. So they still got people there from that Dallas team that 2011 team. Yeah, I remember that, man. Yeah, Cypher's a fool with it. But like I said, my whole point, and I didn't mean to go long, drawn it out, but that's what happened. So, like, look, you fire a guy under circumstances that he really doesn't have any control over. At the guard position, especially at the guard position, when you have a backcourt mate, like if me and Cypress, let's say I'm in the backcourt. I'm in the backcourt, right? I'm in the backcourt by myself. And I've been playing there for like 5 years. Cypress comes to my squad, and he's another superstar. And you're playing. I'm playing a 1, and he's playing a 2, or he could play both positions too. I'm ball dominant. He's ball dominant. I like to have the ball at the end of the game. He like to have the ball at the end of the game. I like to get mines. I like to shoot. He like to shoot. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to take risks. He willing to take risks. You are not going to. You're not going to get things down right away. You have to develop some sort of communication. Chemistry. And have a good line of communication, and that's going to take a while because I have to know, okay, Cypress might like the ball in certain spots. I might have to know that Cypress needs to know that, okay, I need to come off the pick over here, or hey, I gotta have the ball, I gotta have so many touches. It's a lot of shit that you have to take into account. Y'all just expect this motherfucker to come up in there all of a sudden, okay, yeah, win a championship right away. And that's what I was saying. They did Darvin Ham wrong. They did him wrong. They act like he's supposed to come in there. Man, the Lakers already had a whole bunch of problems anyway. You got all this stuff on Darvin Ham's plate and stuff like that. Then on top of that, you got the situation going on with Russell Westbrook. You can't just make magic like that, like all of a sudden in 1 year. I mean, just the fact that he made it to a Western Conference Finals, and then you gonna fire this man? It wasn't because of solely because of LeBron and all this other BS. Then on top of that, Joe Dumars and Adam Silver had to implement a 65-game rule just so that motherfucker AD can at least play more than at least 65 games without getting hurt, being on the ground all the time, crying and shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, what they should have did is they should have ran it back with Darvin Ham. But oh no, you want to bring a guy that ain't got no goddamn experience in there. You want to bring in JJ Redick, who doesn't have no type of coaching experience. Yeah, it looked good. I mean, it looked good what he say. All this terminology and stuff like that on Mind the Bullshit podcast. Or Mind the Game, whatever the hell the podcast name. You see, they don't talk about that podcast no more. Ever since, oh, well, you know, he too busy with coaching now. They see, that was his whole master plan, was to sit up there. See, matter of fact, that was it. Hey, you know what? Hey, matter of fact, I'm going to be real. Man, that wasn't no goddamn podcast, man. That was a goddamn job interview. That's what it was. LeBron was interviewing JJ Redick for the job and shit. That's what it was. That was the interview. That was the interview right there. That was the job interview. Yeah. That was a damn interview, man. That was a job interview. Yeah, he was up in there telling them what he would do in this situation, talking about all this NBA plays and terminology and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If you was that great, man, you'd have been in the Hall of Fame. You talking like you was in the league and you was just out there just killing or whatever. You was killing in college, but we knew your ass wasn't gonna be no NBA player. Well, we knew you weren't gonna be no NBA superstar. You was an NBA player, but you wasn't no superstar and no shit like that. Now I ain't gonna lie, JJ Reddy, he did pan out in the league or whatever. Like I said, I don't trash people on the channel. If you made it to the league, you made it to the league. I give you your credit. Hell, even that shit that Charles Barkley said about Kendrick Perkins. Look, man, I disagree with Charles Barkley. I agree with him in the sense that, okay, yes, Kendrick Perkins, he wasn't as good as you. We know that. We know that Kendrick Perkins wasn't as good as you. Kendrick Perkins was gonna carry your bag. But Kendrick Perkins, his job wasn't to score. His job wasn't the same as Charles Barkley. Um, his job was an enforcer. Kendrick Perkins was Kendrick Perkins. His job was to be a muscle man. To bring physicality, to beat you up, and to be an enforcer and an intimidator. You said no, JJ was not a superstar. He wasn't a superstar. I mean, he was a decent role player. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit up here front about JJ Reddy with his old lying ass, man. Yeah, but watch. Yeah, go ahead, coach. I want you to go out there. I want you to coach, just so that I could tell people, and they can come back to this channel, and I'm gonna tell everybody, I told you so. I told you it wasn't gonna work. Everybody trying to get this guy the benefit of the doubt. Now you got a coaching staff. You got Nate McMillan, couple guys on there, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Who could possibly, you know, and a lot of people saying it was smart that he had it. But I mean, if you're gonna do all that, you might as well just got some guys and got a guy in that seat that actually has been in the trenches. You got a guy that hasn't been in the trenches. He probably been in the trenches as a player, but as a coach, man, it's gonna be completely different, man. You a man. And you talk about the Lakers, man, they gonna be on your ass like white on rice every single day. Everything gonna be heightened to the max. If you make a mistake, guess what? They gonna magnify it. It's gonna be your fault. Why? Because LeBron's there. If man, if you blow your nose wrong, guess what? It's gonna be magnified. You know why? Because you're playing for the Lakers organization. Hell, if you, man, shit. if you even so much as to uh goddamn uh I don't know, fucking uh take your take your shoes off and scratch your feet or some shit like that, they're gonna turn it into something crazy. Hell, if you man, if you go to the wrong hotel room and there's a bitch in there that's waiting on your ass, you know what I'm saying? And you change your mind or something like that, they gonna make it into something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, my point is, every little thing that you do, like, you could win a goddamn game. Man, they still gonna try to find some way. Like, you could win 6 games in a row. Let's say you win 7 games in a row. If LeBron ain't getting his numbers, they gonna find some way to get rid of your ass. They was winning without LeBron. They were winning without LeBron. They were winning out without AD on that East Coast swing. And guess what? Guess what happened? They were still mad because they wanted another coach. Or they you know, they wanted to make some trades or whatever. And then by then, they you know, they was ready, you know, they was ready to get rid of Darvin Ham by then. Why you gonna get rid of a coach right then and there? What you should have been doing, I mean, the way that he was treating Darvin Ham the whole season, the same thing is gonna happen with him. They started off good, you know, they talked good in the interview and stuff like that on the podcast. They friends and all that other stuff. Come by All-Star break, he gonna be like, man, I'm ready to get rid of this motherfucker. Because you gotta deal with that motherfucker in the trenches. You gotta deal with him. It's different when y'all play with one another. It's different when you actually go into battle with this dude. Yeah, they lost in the first round. I mean, they lost in the first round, but that had nothing to do with Darvin Ham. Listen, I'm gonna say this and then I gotta go. Okay, I've said this before. Everybody that's been on here, they already know. I could talk till I'm blue in the face, but I'm gonna tell you like this, okay? A coach can only do so much, man. Okay, at the end of the day, the players got to go out there and they got to execute. Darvin Ham can't control LeBron James for getting dunked on by Jamal Murray. Darvin Ham can't control LeBron James for missing a wide open clutch 3-point shot. Darvin Ham can't control LeBron missing constant assignments, especially on the back door with Aaron Gordon. Darvin Ham can't control defensive rotations and stuff, whether it's in transition or whether it's you guarding Jokic or whether it's you rebounding, all this other stuff. He can't control over that. The only thing that he could do is tell you what to do to be in a position and all that other jazz. You know what I'm saying? He can't control, you stepping up and actually wanting to play. I think I want to say it was Jamal Murray as opposed to somebody like AD playing him. You know what I'm saying? He don't have no control of that right there. That boils down to your player. That boils down to your mentality. You gotta have the know-how. You gotta have the will to want to do it. After a while, man, you gotta start looking in the mirror. And we all know who the problem. That wasn't Darvin Ham's problem. What? Because um he didn't challenge the play or something like that. Okay, big ass deal. It don't make up for the other fact that all that other stuff that you were doing. You act like that one thing is gonna dictate everything, and you sitting up in there mad and crying and throwing a tantrum and shit with your emotional ass. Man, if he don't get the hell up out of here, man, Darvin Ham, man, I'm glad he's somewhere else. He just chilling here. He said, look, I don't want to deal with this shit no more. JJ Reddy, you can have that headache and continue to lose. Straight to the point, I'm out.